Hello and welcome back to another video. It's been a very long time since I've made a video. Long overdue. I'm disappointed in myself and disappointed that I let down any people who may have been watching the videos and keeping track, sort of reading along on these books. Suffice it to say that, life throws you some curveballs sometimes. And here we are in a new location, but we're going to continue on. We won't get into that too much today. We're continuing on the reading of the Grimoire Anthology, Volume 3, War Machines. It is long overdue, or to keep anyone waiting who might have. Do you even ponder the before? Or that number etched into your flesh? Do you see yourself in your dreams? Lord Tymir. So we're going to start today on part 1 encrypted. So I'm going to pull this. Very professional around here. How's everybody been? Well, I hope. Deepstone Crypt. This is the tower where we were born. Not the tower. The tower in a dream. The tower stands on a black plain. Behind the tower is a notch in the mountain where the sun sets. The teeth of the mountain cut the sun into fractal shapes, and the light that comes down at evening paints synapse shapes on the ground. Usually it's evening when we come. The ground is fertile. This is good land. We go to the tower in dreams, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Some of us go to the tower in peace. They walk through a field of golden millet, and a low warm wind blows in from their back. I don't know why this is, because the rest of us meet an army. You can ask others about Deepstone, and they'll tell you about the army. They might confess one truth, which is this: we have to kill the army to get to the tower. Usually this starts barehanded, and somewhere along the way you take a weapon. Ask again, and if they're buzzed, they might also admit that most of us don't make it to the tower, except once or twice. None of them will tell you that the army is made of everyone we meet, the people we work with, the people we see in the street, the people we tell about our dreams. We killed them all. I think because we were made to kill, and this is part of us that thinks about nothing else. Often I kill people I don't know, but like most of us, I think I knew them once, in the time before one reset or another. My mind was younger, less terribly scarred. So that is how we go back to the Deepstone Crypt, where we were born. Quote here: Exos don't dream, he said. But what's dreams and what's memory? Ah, just fix the gun, Banshee. Banshee 44. Chapter 1. The Days Forgotten. Ask yourself, what threatened your Golden Age ancestors so much that they constructed the Exos to defend themselves? Built for a long-forgotten struggle, Exos are self-aware war machines so advanced that nothing short of a ghost can understand their inner functions. They remain ciphers, even to themselves, their origins and purpose lost to time. Whoever built the Exos fashioned them in humanity's image, gifting them diversity of mind, body. Many of the city's Exo citizens live in alongside their organic brethren, but others fight again, forged in the light of the traveler, to serve as guardians. Exo, which in the end is just a matter of substrate chauvinism. It doesn't matter if the system thinks with flesh or superconductor or topological braids and doped metallic hydrogen, as long as the logic is the same, and our logic is the same, yours and mine. If I am a machine, then so are you. If you are not a machine, then neither am I. Exo minds are human. It is incontrovertible. You understand. I'm going to take that slack-jawed stare as understanding. Now here's the real question. Why are Exo minds human? What's the design imperative? Why does a war machine, yes, absolutely, I am a war machine, built by human hands, and you are a survival machine built by the engine of evolution. Don't interrupt me. Why does a war machine have emotions? Why should a war machine have awareness? These are not useful traits on the battlefield. Don't flatter yourself. They're not useful. But why would the exomind mimic the human architecture so closely? You know what I smell on you? I smell the stink of anthropocentrism. I think you think that there's only one way to think. That's why the exo mind is so human. You presume, because all higher thoughts converge. My friend, you should meet the Vex. There is nothing human in them. Now, this is what I believe happened. Back in the time before any exo can remember. It explains everything. I think someone wanted to live forever. Shame. Exo 3. Did I ever suffer exhaustion? Someone asked the question. Or maybe I asked it of myself. Then it looked at me. This moment was real. I told it what every exo knows. What can't touch you has no strength over you, and there's no place for fatigue to latch onto me. But shame is a different affliction. I'm a soldier. I was forged by other hands and forced into the role of warrior. According to my scars, I fought and fought. Besides bits and flashes, every battle has been forgotten. But I have this clear, awful sense that others died. In my unit, every soldier was killed except for me. Yet despite 1,000 chances to be shredded and scrapped, here I stood, no weapon in my hands, making fists out of habit, but with nothing to hit. I'd fought to save the earth. That was my sense of things. But our world was collapsing around us, and every soul was doomed. Even cockroaches and microbes would die. And being an expert in the art of losing battles, I saw no ending to this battle, but another loss, and I was ashamed. The shame took hold of me. It shook me. Shame stole my mass and my resolve. Suddenly I felt like a feather, a breath, like any small nothing, ready to be less in the first breeze. Ready to be lost in the first breeze. But in the midst of that despair, a fresh thought took hold. I was cursed. And do you know what a curse is? It is stubborn. A curse delivered by the gods will hold you when everything else is given up on you. And it was obvious that survival was my eternal curse. 1,000 battles, and how many were won? Judging by the evidence, none. And that's why the shame was chewing at my ceramic guts. But despite the horrific losses I had endured. Closing my eyes, I forced my fists open. This isn't over, I said. This enemy, to myself, to the wind threatening to carry me away. This war isn't done with me. Cade 6 reminisces. Sorry, I'm going to put this over here. I gotta get this new setup figured out. People say I'm a real confident guy. That's true enough. Out in the field, I never had a second thought. My old friend Andal, he used to stand here, right in this spot. He'd come up with these wild stories. He'd say, you know, Cade, I've been examining the evidence, and personally, I've come to think it's you. You're Rasputin, legendary war mind, defender of Earth. And I wish you'd remember that so you could reclaim your full power and save us all. You can see how that would be embarrassing, especially when he'd say it right in front of Zavala, who already thought I was wasting my life scrounging for engrams. You know how Zavala gets. But I just say, well, Andal, you might be onto something here. But if I'm honest with you, I think coordinating our defense throughout the solar system sounds exhausting. So I'd best leave it to you. Then Andal goes and plays his final joke, and I end up as the punchline. So here I stand, reading reports, giving orders, and getting my worry on. One day I ask Ikora, hey, of course, I know all about Rasputin, but really, what are we looking for? When Rahul asks for crashed warsats, when we send Holborn to Mars to look for computers, when Zavala gets all gruff about the Fallen in the Cosmodrome, what are we really after? If I left my post and got my ship and just went out there tomorrow, real heroic, and I found Rasputin, what would happen? Would we all be saved? Good question, she says. Hang on, let me do my Ikora voice. As you know, Cade, Rasputin pretty much ran the Golden Age, especially all the secret military business. Rasputin had antimatter-powered death rays and 100,000 satellites and nearly as much brain power as me. Rasputin fought the collapse. It knows things we need. Right, I said, but Rasputin is lost. The Traveler saved us. Right, Rasputin lost. The Traveler saved us. But the traveler's silent now, Ikora said, and Rasputin lives. Right now, Rasputin's out there, reaching out, rebuilding, growing. So I say what I want to say every day. It's no secret, I say. Well, I'll go find it then. I'll go tell Rasputin we need its help. And Ikora looks at me with one of those looks that sometimes you talk to Ikora and you just think, wow, you are not even using a fraction of your brain on me, are you? One of those looks. She says, Cade, the problem isn't just that we can't find Rasputin. The problem is that it's not clear to any of us Rasputin wants to be found. That's the way things seem to turn out up here in the tower. Nothing simple to do, no easy answers. And all I can think is, if Rasputin had all those mighty tools and it lost, what did it learn? What's it going to try this time around? When I hear about the Dust Palace, those Scion flayers getting into Rasputin's mind, I wonder, what would they talk about, Rasputin and those creatures? Cade's Collections of Cade's excerpts. A little bit of artwork for you. Sorry for bashing the screen. If you're new to this series, I have not pre-read any of this at all. This isn't rehearsed. I'm just reading it as it comes up in the book and doing the best with what I've got. So sorry for any mistakes that come along the way. It's a work in progress. Reflections of Cade 6. We got issues. Spend some time with an exo who's been through it like we have, and you'll see all the tells. We got issues. See, the reboots, they don't wipe it all away, not everything. And the new life, plus the light, it does something really funny to what's left, amplifies it, scrambles it, reshuffles the fragments like a dealer riffling a deck of cards, putting the hands we've already won and lost back into play. Most of us do what we can on our own to forget. Let the itch go unscratched. Me? I learned a long time ago, you gotta play the hand you're dealt. So here's a little bit of what I remember. Strike that. Here's a little bit of what I know. It ain't all right, but I'll be damned if it ain't the truth. Here's a little quote here. Oh, there you have it, Ace. That's why I did what I did. I had no choice, really. It was that or the great beyond. Just know your dad did what he had to do if I ever wanted to see you and your mother again. You probably won't recognize me since I'll be, well, a robot and all, but I'll find you, I promise. Excerpt from a once-kept journal. Floating in the black. I've been listening to nothing but my heart knocking for over 12 hours. EMU's low on air. I promise myself this job is the last. Promise myself this time I mean it. I feel the hull vibration through the station's thin metal skin. The airlock pump hisses. Long waits over. Time to go to work. I'll spare you the gory details. Afterwards, fuming, Clovis Bray sends me a bill for the hull damage. My fault the target put a blast wall between us. My fault things went wrong and we had to let our rifles do talking. I tear the packet open. Tattered pieces of the envelope drift to the floor. Surprise, it's not a bill. There's a job offer tucked in. Seems old Bray's been looking for someone like me, willing to forgive my debt, and not just for the orbital station. All of it. Suddenly, I ain't so mad anymore. This Ishtar gig is pretty wild. Sorry, this is a quote as well. This Ishtar gig is pretty wild, even for a lughead like me. Get it, Ace? Lughead? Come on, I'm trying. I'll get some better jokes, I promise. I knew I was here to secure some top secret thing in the jungle, but I saw it today. They dug up the remains of a technological civilization that actually predates humanity. Don't tell anyone I told you, or, could be Wipesville again. Excerpt from a once-kept journal. That feel. The coast is different, beautiful and unbroken and timeless. It teems with a new life. Every big brain in the system has their sights on the academy. We were there for the Ahamkara, parasitic reptilian critters that appeared out of thin air, inexplicable genome, new proteins, so much potential. And me, I'm here for her, Dr. Maya Sundaresh. She's poured into the research on the brink of another breakthrough, focused on devouring every new data point. Brilliant, driven, beautiful. I can see her so clearly. Dark hair split into smooth, shimmering strands, fanning over her forehead. Gray irises blooming as she looks up from her work to see me standing there beside her. Realigning. Another quote here. This has been fun, I guess, but it will all be gone tomorrow. I have been what they call compromised, which is funny because I feel fine. Could use a few upgrades, but what EXO couldn't? But compromised means they are going inside my brain to wipe it from my memory. Met an interesting fellow EXO who leaves letters like this in caches, so whatever she gets saddled with next, she might come across one and take a trip down lost memory lane. Ace, know that when I find you, I will never let them find me. Excerpt from a once-kept journal. Ever dutiful? No, she doesn't know me at all, doesn't even recognize my face, even though I've been standing over her shoulder for months. I'm nothing more than a fixture, a required imposition, an unwanted necessity. I'm no egghead, never was, just like now. Back then I was on a need-to-know basis. And the only thing I need to know is that nothing and nobody gets through that door and past me without at least 3 layers of security clearance and a whole lot of muscle. Still, I think about saying something, saying anything. In a second, my mind rifles through a trillion possibilities. She's already turned back to her work. I shuffle my feet, straighten my back, and return to mine. Truth in action. All this time I've been busy stirring up the past, never thought about what I was really after. Trinkets and odd notions kept for no obvious reason. Do they matter? Maybe it's time we let the past alone and climb down from our walls. There's got to be treasure that shines brighter than any we've been digging up from the bones of our lost world. Has to be a better hand than the one we've already played. I say we get after it, see what's really waiting for us out in that darkness. Maybe even light it up some. Dance in the ash and flames. The drowning. There's no bounty, no hive. I'm out in plain sight. Sky is torn open and there's nothing and nobody left in this ruined world but me and the boiling shadow all around. Whatever it hits me before I can level my gun. Whatever it is hits me before I can level my gun. Doesn't matter. Tendrils of pain crawl over my splayed fingers, my outstretched arms, my shoulders, my neck, my screaming mouth as it consumes. I'm being enveloped. Everything is wrong. Primordial. My systems go sideways. All but my sensors. It wants me to witness this. The world. A dream. This one ain't mine. If it's something else entirely, but it's the most important memory I have. You wake up and look into the cold spaces between circuitry. Galaxies? Begging for answers. None come. But others' voices wait. At your center, safe and untouched, sits the original you. Just a little box tucked at the back of a closet, filled with trinkets and odd notions kept for no reason. You have no idea when you last spoke to this tangle, but that's what you do now, using a whisper in the lightest touch, being all sorts of cautious because you're afraid of frightening whatever wants to speak with you. And then it speaks, and instead of answers, it begins with the only question that matters. Do you want to know what happens next? Realigning. The artwork there, it looks like an EXO or Cade actually himself being perhaps reset. I guess we know a little bit more now than we did at the time of this book coming out, with lore implications, but I won't spoil that. Here, this is just a simple reading. I'll shut up now. Security log. CB, are you there? This is back and forth between the CB initials and a black box, WA initials. Are you there? I'm dreaming, but I'm awake. You see, I knew it would work. I knew it. Tell me, what is this dream? Describe it. There is a tower, a metal army, a fight. Please do go on. Run the course in front of you. To the tower? No, that's a bug. 3rd time it's shown up. We've got to work on that. I don't like this, Dr. Bray. I feel alone. It's dark. I want to go to the tower. Someone's whispering. Ignore it. It's nothing. Eliminate the hostiles. We should wipe. Start over. Do you remember anything before this moment? No. Nothing. Perfect. It seems isolating, and detaching the memory bank from the cortex is vital in achieving full lucidity. Dr. Abram, take note of the accelerated reflex capabilities and the executive functions. What's our hostile per second count? Cognitive response tracking well, 0.5 HPS, I still think. Where am I? Focus. No skin. Should be cold. Not. Nothing. I am nothing. She's in pain. We need to wipe and start again, or else we risk losing her. We need to figure out a calmer method for awakening. Maybe we can circumvent the confusion of the transplant with some kind of preloaded code. Have those realizations while they're asleep. Going to be annoying answering all these "where's my body, who am I" questions, and again. We can hear you, Clovis. Obviously, raise the hostile count. Damn it, Clovis, we wipe now or I walk. She's our most successful launch. Clovis saying that. If we can't replicate it without error, then we've failed. Fine, Clovis says. Proceed with the wipe. Wipe in progress. I killed you, Clovis. Excuse me? In the dream, just now. And you, Wesley. Every one of you. What the? Delay the wipe. I can't. It's already underway. Damn it. What do you mean? Why did you kill me? What am I? Why did you kill me? Where are you? I can't see. Wipe complete. Prep it. We go again. Immediately. That is the end of chapter 2. Sorry, chapter 1. Already getting ahead of myself. If you stuck it out this long, I appreciate you tuning in a year after I've uploaded any other videos. If you're just joining us for the first time, there's a couple other ones that I have posted in a similar style. I'm trying to get better at, but practice makes perfect. I haven't even done this in over a year, so here we are again. That's actually really interesting stuff in this first chapter. So I do intend to continue on. I want to try to get a couple of these out a week, and then move on maybe to the royal the next book, the fourth installment of the anthology. Again, if you stayed this long and enjoyed yourself, feel free to give it a like, subscribe. That old chestnut. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the next one.